Trending speech ni Pastor Abante na Mataang, may suot umanong 20 milyong piso hanggang 40 milyong piso Richard Mille sa impeachment. Namataan si Pastor Benny Abante na may suot umanong mamahaling relo habang isinasagawa ang pagdinig ng House Committee on Justice kaugnay ng mga impeachment complaint laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte. Ayon sa ulat ng Daily Tribune, ang relo ay isang rare variant ng Richard Mille RM 11-03 flyback mula sa Swiss luxury brand na Richard Mille. Tinatayang nagkakahalaga umano ito ng 20 milyong piso hanggang 40 milyong piso. Depende sa partikular na modelo at kondisyon sa merkado. Si Abante, na kilala bilang pastor turned congressman, ay dati na ring namataan na may suot na iba't ibang high-end watches, kabilang ang mga mula sa Rolex at Cartier. Ayon sa ilang ulat, karamihan sa kanyang mga relo ay nagkakahalaga ng hindi bababa sa 500,000 piso pataas. May mga pahayag ding lumabas na umano'y ipinapakita o fina-flex ang naturang relo sa loob ng hearing. Tara ating panoorin ang trending na speech ngayon ni Pastor Benny Abante sa VP SARA impeachment hearing ng House.
Would you like to make your endorsement also, sponsorship speech? I thought you gave that opportunity to D.S. Paulo Ortega. That's why I did not recognize you anymore. Nonetheless, let us hear the sponsorship speech of the Honorable Bishop Abante for the 4th impeachment complaint, that is Cabrera impeachment complaint. You may proceed.
Ay, iba.
Mike.
Oo.
Sabutahe yata.
Sound check.
Ay, ayan.
Ayan. Alright. Alright. Magandang umaga po. Madam Chair, distinguished colleagues, mga kababayan, mga kapwa ko endorsers, magandang umaga sa inyo lahat. Alam nyo, ako po'y mahilig maglagay ng titulo sa aking mga speeches. At ang title po ng aking speech today is Duty, Honor, Principle. Tatlo po yan. Martin Luther King Jr. said, and I quote, "The ultimate tragedy is not the oppression and cruelty by the bad people, but the silence over that by the good people." End of quote. Madam Chair, there are moments in public life when silence is convenient, when silence is strategic, when silence is safer. But there are also moments when silence becomes complicity, when to look away is to participate, when to remain quiet is to permit the erosion of the very Constitution we swore to defend. I endorse this 4th impeachment complaint with Congressman Paulo Ortega, not out of anger, not out of partisanship, not out of personal animus. I endorse the 4th impeachment complaint because the allegations before us are grave and quite serious, because they strike at the heart of constitutional order, because they involve the alleged misuse of hundreds of millions in confidential funds, because they involve sworn affidavits, COA findings, documentary irregularities, and most chilling of all, public admissions that, if true, undermine the sanctity of lawful succession and the stability of government. We are not here to convict. We are not here to persecute. We are not even here to prejudge. We are here to determine sufficiency in form and sufficiency in substance. But allow me to stress that sufficiency is not a trivial threshold. It is a constitutional gate. And when credible, detailed, documented allegations are placed before us, allegations of betrayal of public trust, culpable violation of the Constitution, graft and corruption, and other high crimes. This committee does not have the luxury of indifference because public office is a public trust. These words are not ornamental, Madam Chair. They are not decorative language placed in our Constitution for ceremonial speeches. They are a command, a standard, a warning. When confidential funds are alleged to have been encashed in vast sums and liquidated in implausible timeframes, when audit findings raise red flags, when sworn testimony describes physical transfers of cash outside normal channels, when public statements threaten the very officer's name in our Constitution, we cannot say this is inconvenient. We cannot say this is politically difficult. We cannot say let someone else handle it. Why? Because this is our constitutional duty. If the complaint is defective in form, we will say so. If it lacks ultimate facts, we will say so. If it fails the standard required by the Constitution, we will say so. But if it meets the threshold, if it alleges ultimate facts supported by sworn statements and documentary annexes sufficient to warrant investigation, then we must allow the process to proceed. For the power of impeachment, Madam Chair, my dear colleagues, is not a weapon. It is a safeguard. It is not vengeance. It is accountability. It is not politics. It is constitutional order at work. History will not ask whether this was politically comfortable. History will ask whether we were faithful to our oath. We swore to preserve and defend the Constitution, not selectively, Madam Chair, not conditionally, not when it is convenient. If we remain silent in the face of serious allegations against one of the highest officials of the land, then we are not neutral. We are negligent. This hearing is not about personalities. It is about principle. It is not about ambition. It is about accountability. It is not about 2028. It is about 1987, the Constitution that binds us all. Let us therefore proceed with sobriety, as I beg this committee right now, Madam Chair. Let us proceed with fairness. Let us proceed without fear, because in the end, we answer not only to our colleagues, not only to our constituents, but to history and to God. As Scripture reminds us in Micah 6:8, and I quote, "He hath showed thee, O man, what is good, and what doth the Lord require of thee, but to do justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy God." End of quote. Madam Chair, my dear colleagues, may we do justly, may we love mercy, and may we walk humbly as we discharge this solemn constitutional duty. Maraming salamat po, Madam Chair. Thank you.